They're promoting this at an organization called the National Democratic Socialist Convention. It is for real, folks.
Rashida Tlaib was the keynote speaker for that first day, and here's the statement where she makes all of the anti-Semitic tropes, uses the language. Then we'll play. Then we can read for you her response, which of course she's not apologizing.
I know you all understand the structure we've been living under right now is designed by those that exploit the rest of us for their own profit. I always say to people, I don't care if it's the issue around global human rights and our fight to free Palestine, or to pushing back against those that don't believe in the minimum wage, or those that believe that people have a right to health care and so much more. And I tell people, those same people, that if you open the curtain and look behind the curtain, it's the same people that make money, and yes, they do, off of racism, off of these broken policies. There is someone there making money, and you saw it.
Here's her response. Again, no apology. No matter how much people who support oppression try to police my words or twist my commitment to justice, I will always center love. The attempts to silence me won't work. My words are truth to power, and bringing our movements together scares those who support the status quo. Free speech for everybody. Let's fight, fight for our freedoms of speech. They don't believe that. That's why she's a socialist.
Of course.
And not just a regular member of the Democrat Party.
Of course.
Socialists believe in controlling the message, controlling who gets to speak, controlling who gets to be the voice. She does not believe that our voice should have the same treatment that her voice has. In fact, she's writing letters to the Treasury Secretary to penalize us or revoke to make it almost impossible for us to exist and have the voice we have, so that we can live in a country where we can take opposing views and still exist.
She is targeting the tax-exempt status of pro-Israeli groups, just like Lois Lerner targeted Tea Party groups and conservative groups in the past.
They're going right back to the IRS targeting Tea Party approach that we beat them on last time, but they're going right back to it. We'll get to what they asked for in this letter in a minute, but it's the same approach.
It's establishing another BOLO list, Jay, another list of people who we need to target, who we need to look at, who we need to attack, who we need to focus on because of their charitable work in territories and areas and in concerns that we do not like.
I will tell you to not laugh it off, because, again, the 7 members of Congress would sign on to a letter like that. That would go after so many organizations in the United States, and they know exactly what that means by including East Jerusalem there. They specifically do that. They say including East Jerusalem.
One of the things they ask them to do, we were going to go over this in the last segment, is do you intend to examine the 501c3 status of, and they list these groups, because of their activities in the occupied West Bank and including East Jerusalem. Now, we have been to East Jerusalem. We've been in the occupied West Bank, as they call it. It's not the occupied West Bank. It's Judea and Samaria. But it's wrong under international law, but it is really wrong to have the IRS targeting once again groups based on their policy position.
7 members of Congress have signed on to this letter, which, by the way, is a way to get this information to Ilhan Omar, who didn't sign the letter because they're asking it to go to her committee, which they're not on.
Right.
But it's not theory anymore. They're being elected to
do this.
Federal positions in the House and the U.S. Senate. Remember, Bernie Sanders there too. And they're being elevated, their voice. So theory, no more.
We take action. We don't just talk about them. Of course, we're giving you analysis on this broadcast, but we take action. We sued the Internal Revenue Service when they went after conservative Tea Party groups. Do you think we will hesitate to sue the IRS if they start going against pro-Israel organizations? Not a hesitation. We will do it if necessary to defend what is free speech, freedom of association, and equal treatment under the law, which is something, Harry, that these groups on the other side don't really want to see in play.
In light of all of this, in light of the history of the socialists, in light of Tlaib's history, the ACLJ is prepared to sue if necessary in order to vindicate the free speech rights of pro-Israel organizations, and we will not hesitate to do so in the future.
She is trying to have groups in the U.S. tax-exempt status revoked over her idea of international law, not U.S. law, international law.
The IRS hasn't done anything yet. Maybe they don't. But we are responding in writing point by point against Tlaib's committees or the other congressman their statements, we are challenging each and every one of them factually and legally.